And here we are. Welcome everyone then to game number 1. The first series of the day. It's gonna take place between TaToH and, how fittingly, Villese. We'll have Bohemians versus Burgundians on this arena-like map. This is 45 clearing for those of you who might not be familiar with the names of the maps. And taking a look at Villese's first, Villese civilization and map generation first. The player is playing towards the northeast of the map. He's playing with the Burgundians. That means that he's going to get access to eco upgrades 1 each earlier for a 40% food discount. In addition to 25% higher attack and gunpowder units. The Burgundians will get a 50% discount on stable upgrades in addition to access to the Cavalier upgrade in the Castle Age. Now for the team bonus, he will get also front relics, food, in addition to gold. Now taking a look at the map generation, Mr. Villese, he actually does not really have the worst map that I have seen. He's got the main goal. It is forward, yes, but it's not too far away from his DC. The main stone is going to be on the back as well, and it's in a beautiful spot. However, the secondary golds and the secondary stone, those are going to be significantly farther away, as it's often the case. It's always the case on this map, and the first secondary goal is going to be on the left-hand side up to the north, very far away, around the woodland. And if you wanted to protect this, he'll have to go for some walls like from here to here, probably something like this, or most likely something like this. Right-hand side, if he goes for something like this as well, that already closes his base entirely, and he would be able to secure the wood lines, which is fantastic. But yeah, for the rest of the resources, the other secondary goal is going to be towards the southeast, outside the walls, beyond the walls, and the secondary stone is towards the southwest, beyond the wall, sorry. So the thing over here to worth noting is the location of this goal. It might be forward, but it is not close enough to the walls to get easily spotted by a scout. So unless we saw TaToH try to scout during the Castle Age, quite purposefully trying to see or get vision of everything inside the walls, or unless he sends the scout into the walls of Villese before he gets the walls up on the back, then it's unlikely that Villese's resource over here is going to get spotted at all. If we take a look at TaToH's map generation, and starting with the civilization actually for the red player, we'll take a look at Bohemians first. The red player will then get free mining camp upgrades. He's got with the Bohemians also access to chemistry and hand cannoneer in the Castle Age, which is huge. Besides that, we're going to see for the civilization that sanctity and fervor affect villagers. They will have, in addition to that, a 100 wood discount on blacksmiths and universities, and they finally also get 25% higher bonus damage from spearline units. The team bonus is going to make the markets work significantly faster for the civilization, but very unlikely to be too relevant on this game and this map. So checking the map generation for the red player, we have the main goal towards the southeast over here. So it's a main goal on the back, and it's a beautiful location. Notice that unlike Villese, there are no exposed resources inside the walls, except the berries perhaps, but the berries are eventually running out, and it's not going to last anywhere near as long as the gold. If we have the gold where the berries are over here, then that could potentially be bad, right? But he does have the gold in a very safe location. He's got the stone in a very safe location. And then the secondary gold is going to be towards the southeast, very far away from the DC. The other secondary gold is going to be towards the northeast. And the secondary stone finally is going to be towards the northwest. Both of these outside the walls. Similarly to Villese's map generation, it shouldn't be too difficult for TaToH to defend himself. Going for some walls from here to here, or even something like this would be pretty straightforward for him. And he should be able to secure all these back resources in addition to the wood lines, which can make a little bit of a difference, but probably not too much. We can see that Villese is actually going to be the first player to try and get the walls up. And he is going for walls that I was not really expecting. I thought he was going to try and wall beyond the gold over here, but he hasn't. Oh, however, we have a little skirmish. And Villese is trying to take on TaToH Scout. Both these players on the same HP, and Villese is coming out on top over here unless TaToH brings the villager over, and I don't think he's got the time anymore. I think Villese is winning this. He is. He is taking the engagement. That's gonna be first blood in favor of And TaToH says cheater. That's gonna be first ball in favor of the Finnish player. You can see the scout sinking into the ground. So yeah, we take a look at the civilizations, the map generation. Both these civs are fantastic arena civilizations. Now, this is not exactly arena, but I would dare to say it's close enough that if you, you know your ropes around arena with either of the civilizations, playing them on this map should feel very similar. You will have to spend some time to close the back of your base as well, but once you do, assuming your opponent does not come from behind trying to push with a siege workshop, a smash or something like that, it should be pretty similar. Always rough to lose a scout this early? Absolutely. Now, TaToH's gonna be blindfolded. We take a look at Villese. He's gotten some information. He knows where TaToH is, at the very least. Even if he hasn't really spotted anything inside the walls. He just wanted to get out of here, not to risk getting trapped inside TaToH's walls. And TaToH, on the other hand, he's got no idea about anything. And this is so rough. This is so rough. If you're trying to play this as arena, and you're trying to go and collect the relics, then not having the scout already this early is going to be super unfavorable. We haven't taken a look at the relic distribution, but it's going to be pretty fair for the most part. So we have 1 over here, 2 over here actually that favor Villese. There are 2 over here that favor TaToH as well. And then there is this kind of neutral one. And then outside we're going to have 2 on the right hand side. And we're going to have 2 on the left hand side distributed in a very, very consistent manner as well. So I don't think anyone's going to be necessarily favored by that. Did TaToH find them yet? TaToH did not see anything outside his walls. He's got no idea about anything. He says 1 relic over here, 1 out of 9. And Villese on the other hand, Villese is... oh, well, seeing only 1 over here. Is this a relic? No, that's hunting. So he sees only 1 relic, but of course he's got the scout, and eventually by the time he gets to the castle age, should be in a good spot. Now, the matchup here is interesting for sure. In Burgundians, we have seen work really, really well on arena in the past, but I believe Bohemians are favored as a civilization, at least on paper. On a map like this, we'll see if TaToH can make use of them. Right now, he's taking a little bit longer to go up to the castle age. Villese, it's already 2 minutes away from it, so he's already clicked up a while ago. And he's looking good. There we are. Let me get some water. Now, I know that a lot of you are coming from Villese's raid, so asking what your predictions would be for something like this seems kind of like asking for the same answer from everyone, but I guess I just gotta ask. Is anybody coming from Villese's raid predicting this to go in favor of TaToH? Oh, and TaToH wants to take this. He wants to get the scout, and Villese is there with his own scout. And I love the little chat over here between both these players. TaToH was thirsty over the scout. Ah, Villese now. Villese is looking a little bit stronger. He does have extra scouts. There's a beautiful unit control from Villese. Notice! He's taking the scout. Oh, he lost his own scout, and that's 25%. Higher bonus damage for TaToH Spearman right there. You saw him. One shot the scout, delete the scout. It's going to take more than half HP. It's going to take, sorry, a little bit less than half HP. Over here, I think. But yeah, of course, it's significantly stronger compared to a standard Spearman, and Villese probably would have been left on 1 extra scout if it weren't because of that. The light cavalry upgrade is here for Villese. TaToH took a little bit longer to get to the castle age. Scouts are not getting the light cavalry upgrade yet. He is going for the monasteries instead. He's got 2 on the way. Villese, he has 1 monastery up only. Instead, he's going for the second TC, and TaToH's not going for any extra TCs yet. This engagement favoring TaToH for sure. Well, we have like cavalry for Villese. The spearman is just so deadly right now. From TaToH, and Villese is kind of respecting, and he does. He's gonna bring this the monk out, and TaToH. Well, TaToH's got 2 monasteries. He's going for monks with 1 monastery at a time. He's got the monks out already. He's gonna try and go out after the relics. Meanwhile, Villese. If Villese can get at the very least 1 relic from the center, he does still have the chance. I've collected more relics total compared to TaToH if he goes on and collect ones outside. That is a very nice snipe from Mr. Villese, taking the monk down right away. Bunch of extra units coming out. The monks are over here as well. If he plays his cards right, he should be able to get a better engagement. Might not be able to convert the light cavalry from TaToH, but if he can get the spearman will make a big difference. He's probably going to end up losing the monks if he just goes after the spearman and ignores the light cavalry, but yeah, these guys are absolutely beastly. Hey, Red Cliffy. Hi. Welcome. There we are. We see the monks going down to the light cavalry without a single conversion. TaToH is gonna be the only player left with monks over here. However, that's a lot of light cavalry as well. From Villese over here. The spearmen are there though, and the big missions taking place. But the scouts, they go right after the monks. They do end up taking a lot of damage. They do come out on top anyway, and Villese has got to be extremely careful over here not to engage against the spearmen, even with light cavalry. TaToH's finally going to start adding some extra TCs. The second and third TC foundations are here for the red player. However, that is after Villese already got all 3 TCs up and running. For the most part, Villese has been able to keep all 3 TCs active. If you take a look at the idle TC time, it's looking very low for Villese for having 3 TCs. Less than 1 minute compared to TaToH. Is not too bad, considering the amount of units he has managed to get out of it already. A 9-worker lead for Villese. And TaToH's tried to do his best to keep up for the most part. If you take a look at the eco upgrades, for instance, TaToH has gotten Bolsa already. That's a very standard thing to go for. A fast castle full eco build over here. He does not have heavy plow, however. Villese's got both of those. He's got wheelbarrow as well. That's by virtue of his civilization getting access to eco upgrades earlier, plus the extra villagers Villese's gotten so far, should allow him to start getting ahead in economy significantly so. Not only in work account, he's already found himself at a 13 villager lead, but if we take a look at gather economy time, right now it's close to 20 minutes higher for Villese. And that's not gonna be the only thing at all. Here we are. Beautiful. Villese is gonna collect the relic and take it back home. TaToH has so far gotten only 1 relic, and it seems like the monks going down. Yes, sir. And the fights over the relics are incredible. And Villese's gotta be careful there. If he does approach the monks, he risks losing several of those light cavalry to the spearmen. And it's interesting to see how TaToH does not even need the pikeman upgrade. The extra bonus damage that the spear line units get, even in their spearman force, are really going to be so good. And we see the light cavalry coming over. They are going to take the monks. They're going to try to anyway. One of the monks goes down, but one of the light cavalry get converted. And the other monk goes down, drops the relic right outside the walls. Meanwhile, we see Villese bring the monk over, get a spearman converted over here. Yeah, and this can be really, really good. You take a look at the spearman, and it's going to be impacted by the Bohemian bonus as well. You can see that it's the same stats for both TaToH and Villese Spearman, and now Villese is gonna be the only player left with a Spearman. If he gets his way and takes this one down, he's gonna try to go after it. And he's not going to get it. But he does have a strong presence around the center. TaToH, however, TaToH actually snuck some monks around and started collecting extra relics. He was only on one relic, then the one that he dropped very close to the gate, he was able to snag that one as well. He got 2 additional relics as well, one from the left hand side. Remember that there were 2 over here. So if he manages to get 1 additional relic either from the right hand side, let's take a look at the scouting information. Yeah, either from the right hand side or one of the remaining ones from the center, or maybe this one from the left hand side, he's already going to get more than half the relic distribution. Villese is gearing up to go up to the Imperial Lich. He does click up now. Yes, TaToH. Not particularly close. Of course, we have seen Villese's economy skyrocket when compared to TaToH's. A few minutes ago, he was only 20 minutes higher in gather economy time, but now that's gone up to 1.5 hours of extra gather economy time for Villese, and it's going to keep on skyrocketing as well when it comes to economy. Between both these civilizations, you get to the castle age earlier with Villese's civilization, and Villese takes the cake for sure. TaToH shouldn't take too long to click up to the Imperial Age himself. With the civilization, he's got the Bohemians. He's gonna have, technically, everything that Villese gets access to, but better. Well, maybe not necessarily, right? We're not gonna see padding coming out from the Bohemians anytime soon, but on a map like Arena, you're most likely not going to see bombard cannons, halberdier, and cannoneer, right? And the Bohemians, they get all those things, but their spearmen are stronger, so their halberdier are stronger compared to Burgundians. Their bombard cannons can get upgraded to Hubnita, and well, the hand cannoneer, those are actually not stronger, those are better for Villese, but he does get access to chemistry in the Castle Age, so he can start researching it when going out to the Imperial Age and technically get access to it earlier if both players are going out to the Imperial Age earlier, or at the same time, sorry, but because Villese is going up significantly earlier over here, that's not really going to make much of a difference. The delta and the uptime between both these players is enough so that Villese should be able to get chemistry before TaToH got to the Imperial Age. Kind of irrelevant. TaToH, once he finishes researching chemistry, he will have access to hand cannoneer right away. But yeah, it's not going to be the massive lead, right? We see the chemistry is coming up right now for Villese, and it's only 23 seconds later compared to TaToH, and yeah. Their hand cannoneer just flat out worse? Yeah, exactly as I was saying. It's the one thing that is not better for them, it's better for the Burgundians. But of course, halberdier, the bombard cannon is significantly stronger. Not even close. Here we are. Castle's on the way for TaToH. Villese does have 2 castles. I don't know, could just go full paladin and skirmishers and loop around with the paladins. I mean, you can try. I have seen that actually attempted several times. It's not always going to be successful, but I imagine it's probably better than just going for the same composition and getting overpowered, getting steamrolled. So yeah, Villese has got to think of something. Right now he is going for skirmishers, but I don't see any stables coming up. Yeah, it's interesting to see him go for skirmishers when he is the one with the stronger hand cannoneer. He's going for it now though. And TaToH's been going for monk upgrades. He's got illumination, block printing coming up. Hey, Wonder Boy. Hey, B. Welcome, you guys. How are you doing? I hope everything's going well. Here we go. Extra walls coming out for TaToH on the left-hand side, just making sure he doesn't have to worry about too many places at once, right? And Villese is already knocking on TaToH's door. TaToH's going for Theocracy. He's going for Humnitsa now. 45 walls. Everything is well, except I had to be on standby for a project release at office today. I see. Oh, the shot stall! And damn, boy! These are not even Humnitsa, but they are so effective already. This castle. Castle's going down. There's no question about it. You can see it crumble right now. Left hand side. Core castle coming up from Villese. He doesn't need to try and push on several places at once. He's got hand cannoneer coming out on the left hand side. If he just focuses his push down the center over here, I think there is little to nothing that TaToH will be able to do to contain the pressure from Villese. He's gonna continue going for extra upgrades. He's got Redemption right now. He's got Fletching. Siege Engineers on the way for TaToH as well. Still waiting for Humnitsa. And Villese. He's gotta be careful. He's got 4 bombard cannons over here. Not as strong as TaToH's units. Now we have it. There we go. Is this wreck? You can do exclamation mark schedule. This is, yes, this series is going to be played using Rex. The second series of the day is going to be played using... It's not going to be played using Rex, sorry. It's going to be played live. And then the third and fourth series of the day, those are going to be recorded games, yes. Straining walls. He is respecting TaToH's defenses over here and also trying to build up a push on the left-hand side, so Villese is not just focusing at the center. Something that, in my opinion, might actually come back to bite him in the future. In my opinion, he should be trying to focus on just a center push over here. He already was getting momentum. You take a look at the military count and it's significantly higher for Villese. Not even close. So here he comes on TaToH. Yeah, for all the stronger units he's got access to, he's not really making use of them for the most part. Well, the Humnitsa are playing full defensive. He doesn't have anything to protect these with. Oh! And the conversion and the snipe coming from Villese. He gets one of the Humnitsa over. He takes one of the Humnitsa down, and this is not close, guys. TaToH loses all the Humnitsa he had left. He's gonna try to go for some more. Villese, well, interestingly enough, ends up losing the Humnitsa he had just converted, but he still has some great momentum over here. And the Burgundians, once again, they do have stronger hand cannoneer, but he's not been going for those. Just got skirmishers. And TaToH is kind of scratching his head over here, trying to figure out exactly what to go for. It's gonna allow him to hold on, at the very least, hold on against Villese and then potentially push him back. But right now, it's just been full struggle. Like, there's been nothing but struggle, but pain in TaToH's world, in TaToH's position in this game. In Villese, well, unit control's not been the best. On the left-hand side, he lost a lot of units at the castle over here for free just by standing still. Send a bunch of villagers, skirmishers over, ended up losing those. Meanwhile, at the center, he does have a Hussar coming in right now. These are not like cavalry anymore. He's got architecture. Interestingly enough, I want to see the bombard cannon push or the trebuchet push. The trebuchet push would actually be very good from Villese, but he's not going for it. Seems to be committed to going for the bombard cannons. Meanwhile, TaToH just finished researching. What is Castle H? The name of the Castle H one? It's for the gunpowders. They move 15% faster. Wagenburg tactics. There we go. He's just finished researching Wagenburg tactics, but yeah, that's coming in after he's already lost about half his base. Might be exactly what he needed, though, to hold on against Villese's push. We'll see. Continue control for Villese. I can't help but feel like if Villese had just focused at the center as opposed to trying to make it push from the left-hand side at the same time, he probably would have already taken TaToH down. Probably would have already either destroyed this castle or denied it in the first place. Here we are. Guess staying up for the time being, and Villese is really respectable TaToH's defenses. He's taking so long. He's taking his sweet time to move on over here, and you know the KD is actually favoring TaToH. And once again, I don't know if this is I don't know if this is the approach that I want to see Villese taking, even if it's gone his favor for the most part, even if he's got a higher population. Yeah, it just seems to me like he's been a little bit underwhelming over there. Feels like Villese can't stick to full trash to support his bombards at this point. The Bohemians only gonna go halberdier and hand cannon. Yeah, probably. This is trying to go and take the castle down, but they will need to. Will take the churches down. They should be able to. And Villese is struggling so much to defend the siege. He's sending the Hussar right now. We have halberdier over there. Yeah, and it's not even close. The Hussar go down instantly to the halberdier. I mean, check this out. Pow! They get absolutely deleted. 2 hits from the halberdier. The Hussar already gets destroyed. How many production buildings does Villese have in the middle? Look this, his dead belt push, struggle to reinforce. Yeah, there's actually a good point. He's traveling quite a lot. He does have a good amount of buildings at the center, but it's going to be closer to his base compared to TaToH's, and it would certainly benefit Villese to try and go for some buildings for the forward, but of course, easier said than done when he spends so many resources queuing the skirmishers, going for the bombard cannons and trebuchets. He doesn't really have a whole lot of wood that he can use to come forward and try to get extra buildings up. Yeah, it's not been the best for Villese. He does have, however, the push on the left-hand side apparently working out. The bombard cannon, the cap rams coming in, although TaToH's defense gonna be good. He takes the bombard cannon down and should be able to keep the castle up over here. Meanwhile, the center once again, Villese still juggling his units, trying to prevent TaToH from sniping the skirmishers, from sniping the bombard cannons. And we have finally gotten to a good amount of units for Villese. And from this point onwards, Villese is only 13 units away from getting to 200 population. It feels to me like it would be better for him to try and stop queuing quite as many units. And then send some villagers over to the center. Just hover around TaToH, right? As opposed to trying to actively push over here. It can be risky for him to try and push. And just start going for some buildings, man. Use some of the villagers over here, but in the end, he does manage to get the castle down, though. Finally, it's proven elusive for him up until this point. And now with the castle gone, the Hussars don't need to worry about too much anymore. Just a halberdier, of course. But with the skirmishers coming over, the halberdier might actually go down very soon. We see that there are no Nita left for TaToH around this area. He's got only one left. Not really sure where that is. Probably the one on the left-hand side he used to defend against the bombard cannon from Villese. And that is indeed the one he's got left. And boy, oh boy. Let's check. Yeah, finally Villese is getting to it, but hey, hold on! That is not a standard work account. He's done it! He's flipped the switch. He's pushed the button. Yes, he's got the button right now. TaToH the only player with a substantial amount of villagers left, and Villese is just coming in. This is a get out of my game move from Villese, with the Flemish militia coming in. Yeah, he's taking the gate down on the right-hand side. He doesn't really have any Flemish on the left-hand side, but TaToH goes on to call the GG. The moment he sees the Flemish, he's like, forget about this. He's just going to call the GG, and Villese is going to find himself 1-0 over here, which puts him in a very good spot. Now he's got to take 1 out of 2 remaining games in order to take the series. And of course, there exists the possibility for Villese to get all 3 games over here and get 3 points. And Rosa, thank you so much for the resub. It's very much appreciated. 37 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the club. I have a feeling that the holiday year might struggle versus those. Yeah, it seems to me like it might not have been the best unit for him to fight against the Flemish militia. But it's very much appreciated. Rosa, thank you so much. Welcome. If we take a look at the achievements really quickly, we'll see a better KD for TaToH. In the end, did not matter, of course, at the end of the game. Villese was going to completely steamroll TaToH with the Flemish militia. We'll see a stronger economy for Villese by a lot. About 7,000 extra resources for the blue player. In a fantastic position with all the extra eco upgrades, the extra villagers, the earlier extra TCs. Villese just played so well. We'll jump into game number 2 in a moment. Let's cross the map and the civilizations first. Here we go. Welcome you guys, everyone then, to game number 2. Got lost in gameplay, but I was just asking earlier, do you know if Hallis is still playing? He was a friend of the channel, so I thought you'd know, and was thinking of him with World Cup coming up. Hallis? I'm actually not really sure if he's playing still. I don't think I have seen him launch Age of Empires. You know, I have him as a Steam friend. Usually, every time somebody plays Age of Empires, it pops up as a notification for me. Let me take a look. Well, AO2.net is back up, right? So if he's played any ranked games within the last 28 days or so, it should show up. And yeah, he's ranked 102. It's actually not too bad. He played for the last time 4 days ago. But yeah, it seems like he was maybe not so active for a while, especially on the trail end of 2022. But it seems like he is kind of back to activity in 2023. I see his elo has been all over the place, but he seems to be active. Yeah, the Nations Cup. I understood what you meant, even if I read it. He plays at times and practices for the Nations Cup. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, taking a look at the civilizations, the map generations, and everything we usually talk about for game number 2, Villese is making a play with Chinese over here. He's gonna play with this for game number 2. TaToH, he's got the Gujaras, so he definitely is gonna be the one to try and get the sheep as he can. And Villese is actually doing a really good job denying this. And TaToH, where is TaToH scout actually? What is he doing? He's scouting. He's not really scouting the center, and now he's missed on 4 sheep that Villese is getting. Oh, that's rough. But anyway, for the blue player civilization, he will begin with 3 extra villagers at the expense of 200 food and 50 wood at the beginning of the game. Besides that, we have for the Chinese 10, 15, 20% cheaper upgrades in the feudal castle and imperial ages, in addition to the TCs, boasting 5 higher line of sight and 5 higher population support each. As for the team bonus, the Chinese will also have 10% additional food and farms for free. Would you say on farms or would you say in farms? I would say in the farms, right? 10% additional food in each farm. Anyway, and TaToH civilization on the other hand, with the Gujaras, he will begin with 2 berry bushes underneath the TC. However, he's going to use this because he's going to try and garrison the herdables, as that's the second bonus for the civilization. You can garrison herdables. inside your mill. You can garrison also fishing ships inside the dock. That's not something we see very frequently, but yeah, on a map like this, where there are so many sheep around the map to be found, the Gujarat certainly feels like a pretty solid choice. Now the thing is, TaToH has actually not really found too many sheep. If you take a look, he's got 5 inside the mill. He's gonna find 2 more over here, so that's gonna be 7 total. We take a look at Villese. And Villese, he has been slaughtering the sheep, and he's got 12 sheep in addition to the ones he's already been taken from. My lord! This is incredible for Villese, and if TaToH were the one to have gotten as many sheep, then he would be certainly in a pretty good spot himself as well. But because of the way that this scales right now, and it not being linear anymore, and now it's going to be kind of like a log function, having 12 sheep garrison inside 2 mills is not really going to produce anywhere near as much as it used to in the past, right? I think after 6, you already start collecting less food than you would in the past with more than 6 herdables garrison inside the mill. And yeah, I guess it's not going to be quite as good, but certainly something that TaToH would have liked to have access to in any case. Regardless though, we talked about some of the bonuses for Gujarats. They also have, in addition to all the things we mentioned, 20, 30, and 40% higher bonus damage from mounted units in the field castle and Imperial Ages. And for the team bonus, Gujarats will get 25% faster training camel and elephant type units. Now, the map generation really quickly as the players are gearing up to get to the castle age, to the field age rather. We'll see the main goal forward for Villese. Go figure. He's got secondary goals both on the right hand side, and then the main stone is going to be on the left. Where's the secondary stone? Secondary stone is going to be towards the south, right? He is already going for a wall layout that indicates a wall out like this, and that would allow him to secure 1 gold, the stone, but no wood lines. Well, the berries will be secure, but no wood lines and no extra resources. The stone over here, the gold over here, will be out of reach. Taking a look at the map generation for TaToH. The red player instead, he does have the main gold forward as well, as we expect to see over here. But then the secondary golds are going to be on the right hand side. Kind of backish, kind of stylish at the same time. And if he wanted to protect both of these, he would have to go for the walls like so. And then on the left hand side, yeah, he's already going for something like this. That's good. He protects the berries as well. But pretty similarly to Villese, unless TaToH ends up going for something like this, he is not going to be able to secure any wood lines. But if he does go for something like this, then he's going to be able to secure this. I think on the farm is fine, since you would think of the food being on the farm tile. Oh man, that is such a weird thing about English. Something that I sometimes find myself struggling with still. The differences between at, in, on. Like, you have a general idea, right? For instance, on is always going to be used for stuff that is usually on top of something or on the surface. In is going to be usually for locations or being inside something. And at's going to be for a specific location point. Kind of. But, like, it's so awkward. Sometimes you're going to use one for one thing and a different one for the same thing, but in a different context. Like, it's in the book. It's on the page. It's on the page in X paragraph. English is a pretty dull language where multiple different terms can mean the same thing. Yeah, I cannot disagree with that. At the very least, I can tell you that it's not the only dumb language, though. Nice knives coming in, though. From TaToH, it's coming in with the scouts already. He's taken already 3 villagers down. It's not going to be the end of it. Another villager goes down as well, crumbles. And Villese has been unable to find any damage himself on the right-hand side. There we go. Yeah, the walls are coming in for TaToH right away. And just in time to prevent taking any damage. In the end, he does not go for the walls that allows him to protect the woodland over here. But it's thick enough that even archers from Villese wouldn't really be able to push any villages away from the wool lines in any case. There ain't a better love story than TaToH plus Scouts. He's managed to get some good damage done over here. We can see a testament for it in the form of villager remnants around the golds. I saw a fascinating video explaining why English is all over the place, which was basically about how the printing press came out at just about the time we were getting ready to sort out the logic of a language. It arrived too soon. Is that so? Makes sense. Yeah, but it certainly does have its niceties though. Conjugation is non-existent for English. Well, for the most part, of course, you still have different tenses and whatnot, but you're going to have the same verb for all different subjects. I play, you play, he, she, it plays. Just add the yes for third person of the singular, but third subject, person? Well, you understand what I'm trying to say. But in Spanish, and that's going to be the case also for all the Romance languages, Italian, French, and all the other ones, and also German actually, yeah. Ich spreche Deutsch a little bit now. I've been learning it. And at the very least, I was already familiar with the different conjugation types and nouns having genres from Spanish and all the other languages that I already speak. And it helps a lot. Otherwise, it would be so alien. If I was a native English speaker and I had to learn different ways to say the same thing for different people, that would probably be a pain in the butt. Anyway. Castle should be on the way for both these players. Sorry about the tangent over there. It's not like we had too much action after the villagers went down from Villese. We haven't really gotten too much action, right? And now the castle is on the way for both these players. Interestingly enough, Villese is only 2 villagers behind. This is coming by virtue of the Chinese starting with extra villagers, of course. Also, we have weird things where we both use Greek and Latin logic for to our plurals and so on. Right. Yeah, I didn't know that precisely. If you can come up with an example, I'm pretty sure that'll be very interesting. Never auf Deutsch? We will see your cast in German on Mondays like Nita does. I'm so weit weg from actually being able to do that. So weit weg. I've only gotten to the... what is that? What date? What date is today? 21st. So I'm in the 7th section of Duolingo. It's got 100 and something, so... And even then it's going to be basic German, the entire tree, so yeah, probably not anytime soon. Oh, you're correct, Wonder Boy. Octopi versus octopuses is a classic one where both are generally considered correct. Right, true. Was Germande and not Deutscher Tag? So Monday was Montag, right? Deutschen Tag? I don't know, it just doesn't roll off as nicely. Probably because most of his audience is from different places. They speak English only, perhaps. Anyway. Down the south, we have traditional DCs coming in, and the game has been fairly uneventful after the villagers' knives that we saw earlier. TaToH is now defending himself quite successfully, and with the extra TCs coming up, he should be in a pretty good spot. Lubarus coming in now for Villese. And TaToH, well, TaToH starting to pull ahead in village accounts significantly. This is a very interesting situation for sure. Villese is getting pushed away now. Yeah, but once again, it's fairly uneventful. Even if the units get cleaned up over here for either player, it doesn't really matter. No one's gonna go forward, right? TaToH's not gonna go forward with the skirmishers and get any damage done in the end. He will end up losing all the skirmishers, and Villese ends up losing all the crosses over there. I guess if Villese was able to keep all the crosses alive and took everything down from TaToH with just the scouts, with just the camels rather, then maybe he could have come in and tried to get some damage done. But the problem is, just crossbows, yeah, aren't going to do much of anything against 3 TCs, right? It's gonna need siege or something else. Then of course the gals started doing for Tuesday. Is that so? Here we are. Once again, Villese regroups his Crosswoman army. He's got the camels over there, and TaToH's gonna keep on relying on the skirmishers, the camels. Keeps on going for some more. In addition to the triple TC production, TaToH has managed to grow his economy enough so right now to keep production going at the same time, to keep military production going at the same time. Still getting used to the bonuses on Indian Splinter Sifs. The Gujaras get a camel bonus. Still getting used to the bonuses. The Gujaras get a camel bonus. The Gujaras train camels 25% faster, and they also have 20, 30, and 40% extra certain HP bonus damage against enemy units in the field, castle, and Imperial Aegis. How is Chikanu versus Shrivamsha Riders? I don't think they are going to be any better compared to standard units. The thing with the Shrivamsha Riders is the agility. It's not that they are very high pierce armor or anything like that. The Chikanus is going to be better compared to a standard archer against something like an Eagle Warrior or a Knight. Potentially Gulams, those type of units, but against Shrivamsha, I don't think it makes too much of a difference, does it? Regardless though, the engagement taking place now, the conversions are coming up! And they do end up favoring Villese in the end. He's got a much higher HP pull over here, and he's going to completely wipe out the army from TaToH as the red player gets pushed away. There we are. Just wonder if TaToH had the edge in the camel fights. Yeah, for sure. On paper anyway. At 100% is a factor versus the shield. I thought that might be the case, but I wasn't really sure if it was going to be anywhere near as impactful as it was against just high pierce armor units, because that's going to, the high pierce armor units are going to be impacted 100% all the time. The Shrivamsha, they still have their agility. You have to run down, but yeah, maybe the additional projectiles do have an impact. Of course, the Chikanus do come at a cost. You do need to get the castles up to get a good amount out. The single castle is usually not going to suffice. Shivansha Riders are readily available. And we see another engagement taking place now. Should be going in favor of Villese. Yes, sir. He's taking on the camels. And while the camels are stronger from TaToH against the camels from Villese, they will still take as much damage from the crossbows. Yeah, and good in control now, Villese. Needs to be careful. But he does end up cleaning out the units for the most part. He's got a very even KD ratio, actually. He's gotten the 4TC out. TaToH has been on 4TCs himself as well. Our player is struggling to get the TCs working right now. He's gotten housed. And Villese's got up in population. Doesn't have quite as many workers, but he does have extra military units now. The Finnish players grabs enough resources together to click up to the Imperial Age. TaToH is not particularly close. It's gonna start going for some Shivansha Riders right now as well. We already saw a few of these units come out. And against the crossbows, it's certainly going to make a difference. We'll see if it's strong enough or not. Main problem is that they kinda avoid the main damage shot and then they take the secondary projectiles. Right. Not 100% sure. That isn't necessarily how it'll go. But we might find out very soon. Villese is going for the castle. And TaToH is surrounding the crossbows with the Shivansha Riders. He's got the camels over here to work with as well. But Villese's army proves too strong for TaToH to take on once again. Villese has come out on top every time we saw an engagement between both players' armies. Now with the castle coming up, Villese should be able to start going for some chickens. Although he's gonna be in the Imperial Age very soon, that might just be for conscription and trebuchets perhaps, but certainly something worth keeping in mind. And I guess we are going to find out if he decides to make a play for Chickenus. There we go, Imperial Age is here for Villese. Play Villese going for ballistics and not waiting for the extra discounted Imperial Age. This is a nice raid coming in from TaToH. It seems like Villese is not going to realize about this. Okay, there we go. He does realize about it now. Shivansha Rider took only 4 villages down. Not the worst. There we go. Extra villagers going down, and once again, Villese doesn't seem to realize about this. On time. And a few extra villagers going down as TaToH is finally clicking up to the Imperial Age. Villese realizes about this and garrisons the villagers. So, yeah, we have our ballistas now. Villese is sending villagers forward, and he's going to try and get a castle up over here. This is not a good location for the castle. Villese is going to recognize that and try to relocate it on the hill on the left-hand side instead, but he's got chemistry. He's got heavy camel coming up. He's just finished researching our ballistas, and we won't see any Chickenus coming out whatsoever. Meanwhile, TaToH is just finishing researching Kshatriyas. I think that is the case, right? For the Gujaras, Kshatriyas. Yes, and the Imperial Age one's gonna be Frontier Guards. Yes, that is it. So Kshatriyas is going to give him a 25% food discount to military units. TaToH is starting to pull ahead in population compared to Villese by quite a lot, as the blue player was trying to prioritize the upgrades first. TaToH's coming out on top. Villese sends the trebuchet out into the open. That could have been really rough. TaToH did not have vision of it. Not really sure if with camels for the most part only, TaToH would have been able to take the trebuchet down before he got close to the castle, but anyway. Second trebuchet coming out for Villese now. He's got 3 total. The other one is moving forward. Should be moving forward. Where's the third trebuchet? What? Oh, it's right here. Oh, he probably doesn't see it. Oh, he was bad for Villese. Should there be engagement about to take place? The skirmishers are there. TaToH's waiting for Heavy Camel himself. Let's see, a little bit of an engagement. That is not ideal. We do get 40. We should be live now again. And hopefully this time around there is sound. Okay, sounds working. Perfect. Let's go. So very similarly to what we had on the left hand side, where Villese gets pushed away from the castle that he was attempting to get up. He has to relocate it, and that's exactly what he's going to do now, close to the center. TaToH's going after the trebuchets, and Villese defends himself successfully. I mismuted again. Yeah. I'm not really sure what happened over there. My computer lost internet connection, and the VPN was not working, of course, but the modem was on and had all the lights on. So I don't know, maybe a Windows bug, perhaps. And then Twitch, of course, every time that we disconnect or we have a drop like that and try to go back live, usually sound is scuffed. Interestingly enough, when the stream restored on its own, there was sound, but unfortunately, because the VPN had not connected before OBS attempted to reconnect the stream, it was using my direct connection, which is not good for streaming. So I had to restart it. Sorry about it anyway. If you're watching this on YouTube, of course, it's just going to be a single smooth video. One of the perks of watching afterwards, but anyway. That is a lot of trebuchets from Villese. He's getting to 200 population very soon. TaToH is on 200 population himself as well. However, that is a lot of trebuchets still. And the castle's crumbling on the right hand side. Not even close. So it goes down and we see the arbalisters, the camels coming in. Potentially taking on the villagers. That's a lot of losses that TaToH could run into. And yes, we will see a bunch of villagers going down. Meanwhile, on the left-hand side, it's gonna be TaToH instead, the one trying to take the castle down from Villese. And it seems to me like he might actually be able to get away with this. He's got 2 bombard cannons. Vilese's got nothing to defend himself with over here, just a few villagers. You could say it's stray lumberjacks over there. Proxy lumberjacks over there trying to keep the castle up. Rough for TaToH to lose the gold over here. Let's take a look at how much gold he's got available back home. So he's got still this one left, that's going to be 700 or so. He's got this one over here, that's going to be 1900 or so, so we have like 2600 so far. And then if he ends up pushing Villese away from the left hand side goal, he's going to get access to this one. Now, this one on the right hand side, he has already been collecting from for a while, so it's got only 1200 gold left, and Villese is going to start collecting from it already, but TaToH has taken about 50% of the gold from those tiles already. You know what? If he's able to push Villese away from the left-hand side, then he's gonna get access to this one once again. You can see that he already took a little bit of it. But compared to Villese, TaToH has been collecting gold from around the map for a much longer time. Villese, he is only now getting access to the gold on the right-hand side. Once again, that's coming in at, you know what, half as much as it had to, as it had at the beginning. And then back home, Villese has got only 3 tiles left. So after this runs out, and it's going to be only 1,000, he's going to have this one left. And after this one runs out, he's not going to have anything left. Meanwhile, we saw already that TaToH's got plenty of gold available back home. And then, if he doesn't take the castle down over here, and it seems to me like he should be able to secure this goal on the left-hand side, that's going to be much better for the red player. But Villese is not going down without swinging, though. He's bringing the scouts, going right after the bombard cannons and taking these down. TaToH, for as much extra bonus damage as he's got with the camels, does not find it in his army to protect the bombard cannon. So now Villese is going to keep the castle up for the time being. We saw one castle go down from TaToH over here, another castle go down over here from TaToH as well. But he's not giving up either. He is bringing the Shivansha Riders on the right hand side. There is no defenses for Villese's villagers up in the north. Relics 4-1 though. Favor in Villese? Yes. Shivansha Riders are looking very effective. Villese. Yeah, Villese is an incomparable population. That of TaToH's, but definitely still struggles the most. Down the south, yes, we see the Shivansha Rider taking on the villages, and now going after the castle. I don't know if Vilese's got murder holes, probably not. But TaToH's doing such a good job over here, taking care of the units, well, for the most part. But notice, he's not going to just let the units or leave the units to die. He's actually trying to maximize the damage he gets out of those. On the right hand side though, he'll get pushed away from here. It doesn't seem to me like it's going to be too tragic. TaToH was only getting food and wood from here. He might end up losing a bunch of the villagers, but he shouldn't really struggle with 4 TCs still up to replenish his villager count, and he still has plenty of wood available. On the right hand side, down the south, and on the left hand side, and it seems to me like it's more important for TaToH try and get control of this goal on the left hand side and trying to defend on the right, where he doesn't really have much of anything to work with. Those Shivansha Riders seem so tilting, but it feels like Villese has the actual pushing momentum. I would agree, Vilese's push over here is much stronger. What TaToH's been able to do, though, was disrupt Vilese's economy, and you can see that reflected in the worker efficiency in the last minute for Villese. So TaToH's going to have an impact on Vilese's economy. Meanwhile, Villese is getting the most damage done over here, getting the most buildings raised, and getting the heaviest push going from a single angle. So it's going to be 2 different types of damage, right? And you can see that Villese is still struggling to recover. 49% worker efficiency in the last minute. Let's check this out. Much stronger gather economy time for TaToH right now, collecting resources for about 4 extra hours compared to Villese so far. Yeah, Villese does have a lot of gold. TaToH not so much. TaToH's already gonna start making the transition to trash. On the right hand side, still under control from Villese. He's gonna be the one collecting from the left hand side as well. And it seems like TaToH's gonna be the one running out, right? Yes. He just ran out of the gold that he had on the back. That is now the best unit control for TaToH! Once again, Villese is going to clean these raiding units up. So yeah, this is the only gold available to the red player at this point in time in Villese. Villese is starting to build up some nasty momentum over here. He already took game number 1, and game number 2 is looking very favorable for the Finnish. So it was definitely a struggle for him to hold on against the Shivanshas and overall the raids from TaToH. He was still able to clutch it up, stabilize, even if he's still on a lower worker efficiency, because he does have a lot of extra workers. The actual gather economy time in the last minute is actually higher compared to TaToH's, despite the efficiency being overall smaller. But yeah, it's been really, really good for the Finnish player the last few minutes. He's got a swarm of units coming through the center. You can see just the flood from Villese coming on to TaToH's side of the map, and TaToH on the other hand is just playing full defense over here. Can't really do much of anything. Ideally, Villese could go for some forward buildings, pretty similar to what we saw in game number 1, where he's spending way too much time traveling, the units are spending way too much time going forward in the first place. Villese had the resources and the attention span to bring a few villagers forward and go for a few extra buildings over here. That could be very impactful on his push. Yeah, there we go, Villese. 200 population, pretty much. Pop Cat right now, locked at 200 population, or as close as he can get, given the production he's got. And TaToH. TaToH's gonna be very close himself as well. He's got about 29 units queued up. More so if you among the villagers as well, so he gets 200 population as well. But Villese should be in a better spot. Yes, sir. Left hand side. He's got a push that TaToH has no protection against. Brewing. So the red player just goes on and calls a GG. As Villese will take game number 2. He already takes the series and is guaranteed to rack up 1 extra point on the standings. We're going to take a look at that after the series is over, but there is a chance, of course, for him to get 3 additional points on the series. And TaToH is going to want to try and take game number 3 so that he does not go down by 3 points, and it's only going to be a 1-point loss. Regardless though, better KD for Villese by a lot, getting very close to 5-4. For economy, we have a stronger economy for TaToH by a lot, collected about 7,000 extra resources, but ultimately insufficient to hold on against Villese's incredible push. For society, we see a very comparable villager max count, as a matter of fact so comparable that it's the same. However, Villese was the one to take the most losses. He ended up losing 73 workers, actually 83 workers, compared to TaToH, who ended up losing only 57, I think. It doesn't really matter too much, of course. Villese was still in a much better position. He was able to clutch it up. Let's wait for game number 3, and that one is going to take place on Villese's home map. And here we are. We find ourselves in the final game of the first series of the day. Villese will make use of Pulse from all the civilizations he had available. He also had, in addition to this, Tatters. He had, in addition to that, he had Britons, right? And TaToH's making play, he's making use actually of Byzantines when he had Aztecs available. When he had, what was the third civilization available for TaToH actually? I don't recall right now. But regardless, this is what we get right now, and TaToH is sending the scout forward right away. Okay, he's just scouting with the sheep. Gotta love it. In some ways, I wish that this was taking place live so that I could see how TaToH goes about scouting with the sheep. What his approach is, if he's just sending these randomly around, if he uses waypoints, if he's going to control all 4 at the same time. Regardless though, let's go through the civilizations. We see that TaToH is going to take some of the sheep. Whoa, he's found 4 sheep already from Villese. This is actually really good. And we take a look at Villese's point of view, and he didn't really know about those. So, you know, it's gonna be kind of like taking a boar away. Except that you do not end up losing HP on the scout ride, because you gain 400 extra resources. It's not going to be 400. It is not going to be quite as fast food income compared to the boar, but it's going to be about the same resource you're taking away from your opponent and gaining for yourself, so it's not too bad. Villese, on the other hand, he's just pushing deer though. And TaToH could very well push deer. He's got those on the back. We'll take a look at the map generation in a moment, but let's go through the civilizations first. Villese, the Finnish wonder boy, is gonna have himself the pulse to work with, which entails 5, 10, 15 and 20 HP regeneration on villagers in the Dark Field Castle and Imperial Ages, in addition to access to Fallworks. He's going to have 0.33 units of gold mined per each unit of stone that he collects with villagers, in addition to, for the team bonus, 1 bonus damage from Scoutland units against Archer type units. And moving over to TaToH Civilization on the other hand, we're going to see that the red player is going to get access to 10, 20, 30, and 40% extra HP on buildings of the Darkfield Castle and Imperial Ages by virtue of the Byzantines bonus. He gets 25% discount on Skirm, Spear, Camel Rider units, as well as a 33% discount to go out to the Imperial Age for Town Watch, free Town Patrol for the Byzantines, and finally for the team bonus, we're going to see for the Byzantines also, amongst that, heal units 100% faster. And TaToH will end up pushing the deer over here. He still has not found all his own resources. We have 2 sheep over here he hasn't really found yet, and it doesn't seem to me like he's going to find them at all. Given the scouting information that TaToH has gotten so far, I would say he's probably comfortable enough that he'll just go forward. Okay, never mind. He will find the sheep. Wow. Well, what kind of hacks is TaToH on? He finds the sheep. Maybe he was just aware that he had not found all the sheep, and I thought with the ones that he stole from Villese that he was going to be already confident enough to just go forward and try to keep the scout around Villese side of the map, but he will end up getting all the sheep. This is fantastic then for TaToH. He's got 8 sheep left. Villese should have none. Actually, he doesn't. Yeah. There we go. Hey, Hots. Hi, welcome. Welcome back. Map generation from Mr. Villese. We're gonna have the main goal towards the southeast. We're gonna have the stone towards the northeast. Secondary stone is on the left-hand side. Secondary gold is on the left-hand side up in the north as well. The other secondary gold for the bull player is actually going to be underneath the scoreboard around this area. Should be able to protect himself pretty easily, or at the very least should be able to secure this gold pretty easily, just going for some walls like this. And he's already starting to get the wall layouts up, right? He's gonna wall himself like this. But he won't be able to secure the stone. He won't be able to secure any of the secondary gold. He won't be able to secure the stone over here. Won't be able to secure any wood lines. And TaToH, well, we can see just underneath the scoreboard what TaToH is hoping to go for over here. It's going to be the first player to get to the field age. He's got a 4 barracks. He's going to go for the 4 archer range, and he's going to go for full trash push over here. Something that TaToH is quite keen on with the Byzantines. Finally, for the map generation on the red player, we do have the main goal on the back, which is fantastic. He's got the secondary goal forward and the other secondary goal on the left-hand side, very far away. Meanwhile, the stone is going to be secondary one up in the northeast and the main one towards the south. If he walls himself like this, which shouldn't be too difficult, he should be able to secure the stone, the gold, and that'll be about it. No wood lines or anything, but yeah, right now he's for the most part trying to focus on the push, so we see some walls instead around the local resources, namely around the lumberjacks and lumberjills. TaToH's going full push. That extra 4 sheep saves him putting out farms sooner, as well as the free food, which is probably nice for that kind of push. Oh yeah, absolutely. And TaToH is still collecting from the sheep, right? He's got 3 more sheep up. And the 4th one he's taking from right now, it's also very high yield still, so let's get a tower coming up, and Villese reacts to this. He's going for his own tower. But TaToH's push is about to get so much harder to defend against. Here in Villese's position, the tower is certainly going to be a nice thing to have for defense, especially with the defender's advantage, right? But this is a fantastic location on the tower for TaToH, because not only does he force a defensive tower from Villese, but this tower is going to deny the foragers, and that was 400 additional food that Villese won't have access to, because TaToH is denying it, or is delaying collection from the berry bushes, and is going to force Villese into the farms right away. TaToH, on the other hand, is still collecting from the berry bushes, is still collecting from the sheep, is still collecting from the deer, actually. He does send some villagers out. And while the tower goes down for TaToH, I would say the disruption over here and the impact that his push has had on Vilese's economy has been quite large, as a matter of fact. This should actually defend this pretty well, right? Regenerating villager HP, and they have a stone bonus, right? Yeah, I mean, on paper, Villese has not really collected any stone yet, so you won't be utilizing one of the bonuses. The other one, the HP regeneration on villagers, is something that I don't think he's necessarily planning for, but certainly helps. And oh, Villese was trying to go for the stone on the left-hand side. Yeah, this tower from TaToH was not really denying the stone, but his push was. And now with the tower on the right-hand side, he does effectively end up denying that stone, plus pushing some villagers away from the woodland over here, and Villese is going to have only the woodlands on the left-hand side left. It might not actually be the case, as we see TaToH coming with some military units. He might be able to push villagers away from the woodline. So far, he's been able to get one villager down. That's about it. Pull villager healing bonus is great to towers. It is. It is. It's fantastic when you have a sustained tower war, but Villese was able to take the tower down right away from TaToH. If we find ourselves in a situation where he needs to keep on repairing the tower and both players get both towers fully garrisoned, then the pulls are going to be coming in clutch, of course. There's also the possibility for TaToH to just populate the towers with military units, given the fact that he's got skirmishers right now and can very well make a play for archers if he wanted to. That is not necessarily going to be possible for Villese, but maybe he does have some skirmishers. In any case, though, TaToH's push is fantastic, and take a look at Villese. He's just so impacted by this push, even if TaToH is not going to continue pushing through the right-hand side. He's already managed to get a lot of damage done, forcing the reactions from Villese. Drop in the worker efficiency in the last minute for Villese, not only in the last minute, but throughout the game. TaToH's economy has remained more efficient compared to Villese, such that he's got about 20 minutes of extra gather economy time, and now with the skirmishers on the left-hand side, once he gets fletching, he should be able to push the villagers away from the wood for sure. Well, Villese is gonna defend. That I could just lay in the outside resources to deny it, even if the push wears off. Yeah, that is true. We can see he's got the units on the left-hand side, making sure that Villese does not get access to that stone. And with this tower, of course, there's no way in hell that Villese will be able to get access to this main stone. So basically, the bull player is going to be confined to just the main goal. Fortunately for him, it's going to have well more than enough to keep him going until the castle age and onwards. But TaToH still, I think, probably ended up getting the better end of the deal with the push. Got 2 villagers down, got wheelbarrow, and has only one less villager compared to Villese, so it's good. Wow, Hots! Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Absolutely love it. You know, guys, Prime subs coming in at no extra cost for those of you with Prime, and I still get my revenue share, of course, so it's very much appreciated. I'll take them business bucks, and thank you so much for the support once again. Appreciate it. Yeah, TaToH's push is certainly winding down here for sure. Villese is going to be the first player to click out to the castle age, but TaToH's not really lagging too far behind, is he? I like TaToH's approach. He deny pull stone mining bonus. Yeah. He denied so much food in addition to that as well. Force the farms up. And while in the end, Villese obviously will benefit from the folwark farm economy over here. Being forced into the extra farms at a much earlier time that he was otherwise going to go for it, of course, is not ideal. There's a tower coming up on the right hand side, on the left hand side, rather down the south over here from TaToH. He's got an outpost coming in. There we go. TaToH's cleaning this up. He's getting the tower up. Villese. He's buying stone to repair the one up in the north. Yeah, and in the end, TaToH did end up populating the tower with archers. That's great. Villese has stabilized nicely, actually. Yeah, it's going up to the Castle H earlier compared to TaToH. TaToH maybe struggled a little bit too much with idle TC time. Villese was able to kind of catch up and work account for the most part. Oh, nice quick walls from Villese, but here come the scouts. TaToH only needed to delete one of the foundations for the walls. And he's gonna continue getting the tower up. So Villese got to the Castle Age. He's got knights already on the way. But check this out. If we select all the towers we have from TaToH, and after this one comes up, it's going to effectively deny pretty much all the resource, all the wood from Villese, if he can get away with this, of course. Bacanaro is here, but Villese ended up losing the tower next to the folwark. Okay, this one is getting denied. Yeah, that's good. The tower from Villese with Bacanaro is going to have enough to deny the tower for the time being. Yes, Villese was aware of the villager over there, and TaToH cannot get the tower up as a result. Second TC is coming up, both for Villese and for TaToH. However, the red player gets another villager. Fifth villager down already from Villese. And he does go for a third TC foundation in addition to the second TC, while Villese is going to stick. The bull player is going to stick to only 2 TCs for the time being. Doesn't really have the resource to go for a third TC, not even close. And this is still very much a pretty awkward spot for Villese. With access to a single wood, if he's unable to clean up the tower from the towers from TaToH up in the north and then this one down the south, then of course he's gonna find himself in a pickle in the next few minutes. Counter raid coming in from Villese. Just archers, no crossbows, but he's got some knights. TaToH's got some knights himself as well. Of course, with the Byzantines, he does not get bloodlines. But the knights are coming in from TaToH. He's going forth. He's not defending. Instead, he's going for yet another push. And TaToH shines in this kind of game where he's the one putting pressure. He's the one calling the shots over here. TaToH's gonna find himself like fish in the water, and Villese, on the other hand, having to defend is not going to be a strange thing for him, but definitely not going to be his favorite position, I would say. And only now he gets wheelbarrow. TaToH has already started pulling ahead in work account. He's got a 4th TC coming up in the north as well. Yeah, indeed. Villese is usually gonna be the one trying to get the economy going. in the Castle H, and TaToH's gotten beat. 4 TCs versus 3 TCs. 5 extra workers right now for TaToH compared to Villese. There we are. Beautiful. Yeah, Villese would have taken a better engagement over here. TaToH is just trying to go past the defensive units and get the raids going. Yeah, that was not good. Because you have Bulwark Foundation coming up, and villagers, the villagers from Villese walked a little bit too close to the sun over there. And now there's finally a 4TC coming up, and TaToH has had a lot of extra idle TC time compared to Villese. Despite the fact that he's been on 4 TCs compared to Villese, has been on 3 for the most part. TaToH struggled big time to get a substantial villager lead, right? And for some reason, it seems like TaToH was not paying attention over there. He could have gotten a bunch of villagers down if he intercept the village, the villagers from Villese. I love how TaToH's wall tower looks like a castle. A little bit like a crab post, I guess. And yeah, Villese kind of found himself with the need of going for extra TCs around extra woodlines, right? So to get access to those, but he stabilized really well. The working count right now is still higher for TaToH. Yes, sir. He's got a more efficient economy, technically. Yes, we take a look at the economy time, and it's been better for TaToH still. However, Villese stabilizes and finds himself in a position to fight TaToH off just fine. We'll see a castle coming out for Villese TaToH. He's got a substantial amount of stone miners, but does not have enough stone to go for a castle yet. Then, while Villese is going to end up getting completely cleaned up over here, he doesn't that taking some of the monks down. He will guarantee the castle coming up, and this could make a big difference. If Villese is going to start going for more military right now, and it's going to commit to a full push, TaToH might find himself in an awkward spot, especially if Villese adds a few Oblog into the mix, which will be so good against all types of trash units from TaToH. Okay, pikemen. Scale mill armor, +1/+1 for Villese. TaToH continues working towards the upgrades and self chain bar than armor now. Let's see. Here we go. There's a lot of units coming in, TaToH. With a few snipes over here, getting 2 additional villagers. Imperial is on the way for TaToH, not so much for Villese. And this does come a little bit like a surprise to me. Villese, when he realized about TaToH going for his own castle, should have tried prioritizing the Imperial Age maybe a little bit more. He will still be able to click up very soon, but TaToH is going to have the head start. Plus, the fact that the Byzantines, once they get to the Imperial Age, get 40% extra HP on their buildings, will make it very, very difficult for Villese to get a better engagement in the Trebor over there and take this out. More villages going down from Villese, 4 additional villages in TaToH. Finds himself 10 workers ahead, 11 workers ahead. Only, not too much. Here we are. Additional stables coming in for TaToH as well. We're gonna see full camel push. It's got cataphracts on the way as well, which I love to see. I always love to see the cataphracts. A second castle's coming up. This doubles the production potential for TaToH. Meanwhile, Villese. Villese is still so far away though from the Imperial Lich himself, and the cataphracts are already coming out from TaToH. Getting pretty decent trades against Villese's units, and the pikemen from Villese, of course, will not really hold as much of a candle against the cataphracts over here, especially TaToH ends up going for elite cataphract and logistica as well. But yeah, it's already getting so much damage done. Beautiful. Is that the night discount tech from Villese? The castle H1 Schlachter privileges, yes. So now he is in a position to start spamming cavalry. And of course, TaToH, he will have 25% cheaper camel units himself, so might not be quite a heavy discount, gold discount that Villese gets for the knights, but he's going for heavy camel, he's going for plate bar and armor. That should be enough for him to defend even against Cavalier from the Pulse, especially as the blue player is not going to get all the defense upgrades. It's not going to get access to Paladin. TaToH, it's looking good. Just gotta be patient over here. Try to get 200 population himself as well. And not hurry the pushes or the raids. This tech is ridiculous. I wonder if Byzantines can deal with it. Well, Byzantines will be one of the better civilizations to try and hold on against Schlachter privileges. The cheaper camels get an even 25% discount. And we see an engagement potentially cooking up over here once again. TaToH could have used a few cataphracts to take on the pikemen, to be fair. But he's not going to. He's just taking the engagement or trying to take the engagement with the camels. And what an interesting position over here for sure. A lot of camels, a lot of cavalier. We have the choices from both these players. The castles are both under fire. They're both under siege, but the camels are coming out on top though. It's not even close. The cavalier are getting completely wiped out. Plus, the castle will take care of many of the pikemen as well. So TaToH should be able to take the castle down, and he does. And while Villese was going after the trebuchets, he's coming in way too late, and TaToH is going to end up losing the majority of the trebuchets, but he still does have a good amount of camels to protect the remaining trebuchet with. He ends up losing 3 out of 4, but that's also a lot of cavalier going down from Villese, so it's not exactly coming in for free for the bull player, and TaToH still has some incredible momentum. He's got a bunch of camels left over. Should be able to bring these forward and take the trebuchets down, take the pikemen down. TaToH should win this. I do agree. See the trebuchets go down and the castle stay out from TaToH, and if it weren't because of the Byzantines, that castle would have been in history a while ago already. But because of the extra HP, it's actually managed to stay up for significantly longer. Take a look at that, of course. Extra camels are coming in for TaToH. He's got production that kind of resembles Schlachter privileges, but for camels instead, right? As a matter of fact, it's actually producing camels more heavily right now than Villese is producing cavalier. So yeah, that's going to be game number 3 going in favor of TaToH. The GL player does end up getting 1 point over here in the series. Of course, that's going to be after losing the first 2 games. So in the end, we'll still have a +1 balance for Villese after the series and a -1 balance for TaToH after the series. We'll see what the standings are looking like, but for the time being, let's just check the achievements. We're going to see a better than 3 to 2 kit ratio for TaToH. For economy, a stronger economy for TaToH by a lot, collecting about 6,000 extra resources. And then for society, gonna have a higher villager max count for TaToH as well. Well done. Let's go back.